Monster was the first video that I collected, because I just, when VHS came out, way back when, and, these movies started coming out, Man-Made Monster was the first, because I just enjoyed that film so much when I was younger. It marked the beginning of Universal's second horror cycle that basically introduced the films into the 40s, and a lot of them were made on smaller budgets. And Man-Made Monster was no exception. Man-Made Monster came in at $86,000, which was about a third of what feature films cost back then. But what makes up for it was the fine cast and the in-house talent that Universal had, including John Fulton, who provided a lot of the special effects for a lot of the Universal movies. He did the special effects of this one. And you had a wonderful musical score by Hans J. Salter, which you'll enjoy. The movie launched the career of two of Universal's mainstays, Lon Chaney Jr., and this is one of the first films, it may be one of the only films, I've never seen it before, where you see in the credits, he's listed as Lon Chaney Jr., and in subsequent films, you didn't see the Jr. anymore in the credits. It led to a contract for Lon, and he would go on to, of course, do The Wolfman after this, and bigger and better things. It also launched the career of George Wagner, who was also credited with writing the screenplay. He wrote it under a different name, but it was George Wagner who wrote the screenplay. He went on to a contract. He would go on to such projects as The Wolfman and Goes to Frankenstein. Unfortunately, the same fame kind of eluded Lionel Atwill. He had aspirations of being a Hollywood producer, of moving on and becoming a Hollywood producer, but unfortunately there was a certain Christmas party that was somewhat scandalous. He was never convicted of anything, as best as I could find in my research, but yeah, basically it was, he never achieved the same, what he was setting out to achieve, which is become a film producer. Let's see. All right. You'll notice, Lon's performance in this is I think, one of his best roles, because, he starts off as a very likable, congenial fellow, Dynamo Dan, a circus performer, and, with the experiments that Lionel Atwill performs, he becomes essentially like a walking show. But one scene I want you to watch very carefully. Okay. I want you to watch very carefully is he's in prison. He's being examined by the prison psychologist. And the prison psychologist is saying, as I remember your story, you were brought up in an orphanage, and there was a man there and he beat you. And you see how well Lon emotes. I mean, that was some serious acting there, and very, very powerful. And it just goes to show you what an actor Lon Chaney was. He never, oftentimes didn't get credit for that kind of a performance. It's a really, really wonderful performance. So, without any more ado, we will begin the movie. I thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoy the movie as much as I do. Thank you.